Welcome to this video tutorial. In this video tutorial, we want to show you how to connect the GOOSE publisher to GOOSE subscribers using a technique that we call data binding. For that, we have opened a project with 3 IDs. One ID is our source that has 2 GOOSE control blocks defined, each with a very simple data set. The status of the position of the disconnector and its quality information. And then we have 2 sinks that we will use in the subscriber plugin to connect the GOOSEs to. First, navigate to the subscriber data binding plugin, GOOSE or SMV respectively. We are working with GOOSEs here, that's where we opened this plugin. And here you can see 2 lists. The left-hand side list is the source list. It displays all the sources, and the source in this technique that we call data binding is always a data attribute within the GOOSE or sampled value control block respectively, so-called FCDA. That means that this list shows all the GOOSE control blocks in all the IDs that are defined in the project. In this case, we have only one ID with 2 GOOSEs, and it shows for each of the GOOSEs all the data attributes that are defined with the GOOSE. You can filter for GOOSE control block names and data attributes. You can filter for ID names, which does make sense here because it's only one. You can filter for logical device instances. You can filter for logical node classes. So everything that you can read here basically can be filtered for. You can also see there is an edit button that allows you to configure your GOOSE control block. For example, someone forgot to add the position of the QB1 disconnector, and there's only the QB2 disconnector. You can do that afterwards by using the edit wizard for GOOSE control block. And on the right-hand side list, you see all the sinks. Now, a sink in the technique that we call data binding is always a logical node. And ultimately, when we subscribe, is we create a new external reference within the selected logical node in the selected ID. In this case, when I click on the silo here, we'll see that there is a subscription created for that data attribute. And this is created within the inputs element within the silo 1 logical node within the earth switch logical device and the GOOSE subscriber 2 logical node. So what does the list show? We have in the available to subscribe list section, we have all the logical nodes that are in the project and with all the IDs that are not the ID of the selected data attribute. And what you can also see in this list that some elements are disabled. That is because the services section of an ID allows to prohibit to create an external reference on the fly by ID editors, by SCL editors, sorry. And in this case, for example, the GOOSE subscriber 1 ID does not allow to create external references, but the GOOSE subscriber 2 does. And yes, and you can of course disconnect or unsubscribe by clicking on a list element within the subscribed list, and then these external references will be removed. But let's see what we have done to our SCL file after such a subscription. You can see that in the logical node silo 1, we have added an input section, and the input section contains an external reference. That is a pointer to the data attribute that we have chosen. That one is allocated in the disconnected QB1. It's the position and the status information of the position, and it is carried with this control block host control. Thank you for listening.